Angels, welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about the finale of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Straight off the bat, this is the best episode of the series.
Yeah, I agree.
Close second is the one where they first go to Madripoor for me, personally. Yeah. But this one, what a satisfying ending, especially comparing it to WandaVision, where the ending wasn't as satisfying for us, but the overall story was great. This is now like, the beginning was rocky, it got better and better and better, and now the finale is just fantastic. Yeah. Absolutely great, 10 out of 10. I was completely satisfied with the end of the story, the end of each arc, like each character arc. Honestly, I just thought it was brilliant.
And I agree, because the end was the best, and I agree that this episode was the best episode of them all. But it does have to be said, apart from the first few, the episodes leading up to it really did a good job, and it wouldn't be as good if it wasn't for the beats of the other episodes. Yeah. So it's definitely a good culmination of the series, and it really paid off everything, I think. Really good character moments and really good, and it still saved some reveals as well for the end, which again was really, really good. It's exactly perfect, you know, beat for beat what you want from a finale. Yeah.
I almost kind of wish that you hadn't said that you thought Sharon would be the power broker, because I didn't get that from episode 5 or 4. Like, I just was like, oh, she seems to be dodgy. I thought she was working for the power broker, and was like, she's definitely working for him slash her or them. I can imagine. Can you imagine my like surprise if you hadn't said anything? I think I would have literally been there like.
Well, I mean, we were just talking about it and just.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's not your fault. Don't
Sorry,
worry. You're ruining the content. But yeah, especially that reveal, I think, was very, very well paid off. Especially for people who maybe didn't see it coming. Yeah, I think it was a very good reveal. Obviously, that's jumping forward quite a bit in the episode, but. Rewinding it back, you know, we start off straight away pretty much where we left off. The GRC are about to vote. The Flag Smashers are getting involved. Carly is like, it's really weird. She's like on her own somewhere, like speaking into a phone. She's like,
we gotta do this.
They're going down the stairs.
But the thing is, right, I've been reading a bit, and apparently there was a scrapped, because you know, like they were getting like vaccines and stuff like that. There's a scrapped pandemic storyline that they then decided not to go with, because obviously filming and things happen. So I think they really did have to piece together some of her dialogue. So that's why her motivation and her motives were a bit cloudy. Yeah. And there was no real like concrete vision of what she wanted to do. She just wanted people to listen, and they won't change. Yeah. So they really had to pick and choose, I feel, of things that they had her say and the lines that she read. Yeah, I think you could really tell with her dialogue it was a bit bitty, and she kind of kept repeating the same things over and over, and it was a little bit disjointed, but it wasn't too much of a distraction. I still very much enjoyed the fight scenes. They got the masks on, they're inside the GRC, got the masks on, they threw in gas to get them to come out. Yeah, so they wanted them to evacuate so they could hijack the police cars that went. And Batroc was there as well, and that's when we see Falcon or Captain America. He's like, you first see him fly overhead, and I was like, oh! Yeah, he's teased a lot. Oh, so cool. His suit is awesome. It looks really good. Like, I really like the white in it, because you haven't seen that yet in the Captain America suit. And his wings looked amazing as well, the vibranium wings. One thing I will say is that he was a little bit like baggy around here, and I was like, oh, I wish it was form-fitting, but that's a bit of like a female gaze thing, I guess. But yeah, the fight between Batroc and Falcon was good again. Falcon's his entrance into the thing. He comes in and this guy's like, who are you? He's like, I'm Captain America. I thought Cap was on the moon. Because that's like in a previous episode. It's like the conspiracies. Oh, that made me laugh. I just really enjoyed that interaction. But it's the first time you see him saying, I am Captain America. Yeah. Honestly, that just gave me shivers. I was just like... It's fitting for the character as well, I think, because the guy is like, who are you? And he kind of just walks past and just goes, oh, well, I'm Captain America. Like, he's cool about it, you know? It's not like a zoom camera into his face and he's like, yeah, no, none of that. He's just like, yeah, I'm Cap now, so... yeah, I'm Cap now, guys. Cool, let's just, let's carry on. It was nice, obviously, to have him fight Batroc again, as comparison to the first one where he kind of fucked it up, and Cap fighting Batroc as well. Yeah. I wouldn't say he beat him. It was kind of a match matched
Yeah,
fight.
well matched.
He just left because they were moving people, so he just said au revoir and pissed off.
Yeah.
It was a sick when he threw the shield out, flew out and caught it midair. There's so much more you can do now that he can fly with the shield.
Yeah.
It's just nice. Like, they've done pretty much everything that can be done on ground shield cap work, but now that they've been able to use it to fly,
it's so much more dynamic and like
versatile.
So much you can do, and we saw that throughout this episode. Like, it's kind of hard to like follow exactly what happened in the first kind of half of this episode, because it was all a bit of a, not a mess, but like a lot was going on, because Sam then goes out to try and stop the chopper after he's fought Batroc, because that's going on for a while. Bucky's like, I don't do air, you do fly. Bucky starts to go, you do fly. Bucky goes after the police car vans things that the GRC members are in, which have been like locked by one of the super soldiers. Sharon's kind of acting a bit dodgy. She's just watching them do it.
Casually burns a man.
Mercury vapor or something.
Completely just burns him alive casually.
She's so badass. Yeah. I honestly, like, I stan Sharon Carter.
And I was going to say this when you were talking about it before. I'm glad that they're allowing a character like Agent Carter or Agent 17, I think she is in the comics, like Sharon Carter, who was such a good SHIELD agent and stuff like that. Let her take like a bit of a darker path and let her be this, you know, kind of double agent person, because yeah, she's a good fighter and things like that, but we now have loads of good patriotic fighters that, you know, just let somebody be a bit, you know, we know, but Sam and Bucky don't know, and the government don't know as well. So it's a really nice setup, because
it's still just the audience that knows, which is a good way to story tell.
Yeah,
and like in future as well, when she comes back, like, it's just going to be great. And you know, it's the same in books. Like, we always love these tropes of like morally grey characters, morally ambiguous characters, and you know, a hero or, you know, a good side person kind of going slowly towards the bad side, but kind of not really, because she's not evil and she's not got this like agenda against anyone. I think she just wants money and power, and she wants to take back control of her own life and like what she can do with it. And I just stand that behaviour completely. And I feel like we don't get much of that in TVs and movie. It's a very like popular trope in books.
I think it because it takes a long time to set up.
Yes.
You have to have a good character and know that they're good to be able to slowly pass them over to bad. It's usually just big reveals that they've been bad all along. Yeah. It's not a gradual thing. And it kind of makes the dialogue in earlier seasons make a bit more sense. When they were talking about pardons and she was being really difficult, it now kind of makes a bit sense why she was being difficult, because she's like, well, I'm the power broker, I've got money, I've got power here, why would I want to pardon?
She's also just a good actor in general. Like, I don't mean the actor, I mean the character is a good actor.
Yes.
Because you can kind of tell something's off, but obviously we're seeing behind the scenes as an audience and they're not, and she's a very good actor towards Sam and Bucky and everyone in general. So Sam is currently after the chopper. He has got Red Wing back as well, and it's all just really cool, his whole dynamic. He's fighting with the pilot's got a gun and keeps shooting at him. The pilot's doing some mad fucking parkour with this helicopter. He's literally like flipping and diving, and it's just mad. Yeah. And it's like, you'd think like a gigantic helicopter would have a lot less versatility than like Sam being so small.
Yes, okay, yeah. The scenes where Sam was flying, chasing after it, and his wings were skimming the water, and it's just touches like that. It must be so nice to like, as a filmmaker making that, to visualize those scenes and say like, oh, we can have him skimming the water and then doing it and having like that final scene and going, oh yeah, that looks awesome.
A lot of good cinematography in this episode because of all the fighting, obviously.
When the people get taken in the police cars, Bucky's chasing them and they stop the roadblock. Bucky's fighting them and Carly's like, okay, well, we need to distract him so that we can get away. So she basically lights one of the trucks on fire.
Yeah,
She's really like kind of tipping over the edge. Just
before this though, Carly is saying to her other super soldiers, she's saying like, if we die it doesn't matter, the cause is bigger than us, and blah blah blah, and saying we've got to kill some of the hostages if needs be. And the others are a bit like, whoa. We didn't agree on like killing hostages, we were going to ransom them. And a lot of them are a little bit still like, ooh, she's going a bit far.
One world, one people.
But she's like, one world, and like they're like, one people. If we die, it doesn't matter. And it's, the other people are like, oh, I don't want to fucking die. Like,
yeah,
like
exactly.
their attitude. They clearly just buy into it again and start, like, they just set the thing on fire and they're gonna die, but cool. And Bucky is trying to fucking open it. He beats up the Asian guy, Asian super soldier, and then is trying to open it.
At that time, John Walker shows back up, and
Hey!
he's back. He's got
like,
his...
Carly Morgenthau!
He's got his shield, and
His
he's
shitty
still got
shield.
the Captain America costume as well.
Yeah.
And he's trying to fight them, and Carly, trying to talk him down, says possibly the worst thing she could have said. I didn't want to hurt people that don't matter.
And he's like twitching.
Well, like, the worst thing
Oh
you could
my
have
God.
said. Jesus
Idiot
Christ.
Gil.
So they're all fighting, and John's pretty much getting his ass beat, because although he is a super soldier,
There's
it's
six,
4v1.
there's like, yeah, 5 or 6 9.
When Bucky manages to get them out as well, it's a really nice scene where they thank him.
They're
and
like, thank you for saving us.
He doesn't really know how to react,
Yeah,
because he has never been thanked.
Yeah, like his, you know, his part in, I guess, Endgame and stuff was quite high level. He was just helping the other
They were in
Avengers.
Wakanda, for God's sake.
They were in Wakanda. Like, he
Field.
never has been on the ground saving literal, like,
Civilians.
civilian by civilian kind of thing.
Exactly.
So it's kind of nice to get him, like, see him get that gratitude. Because it's part of his healing. Like, you are doing good now. You are a different person. I just like
serve the people.
like seeing that reaffirmed for him. Bucky starts helping John out, which is pretty cool. Like, starts helping them fight. Sam manages to, a pretty cool bit actually, he texts one of the women in the chopper because he asks Red Wing, he scans them to see if any of them have got any piloting experience, and the Asian lady, I don't think they give a name, oh, they do give a name, but it's very quick. But she has experience, so he texts her to put your earbuds in, like her fucking AirPod or whatever. And he's just talking her through what they're gonna do. Basically, a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This bit where he bounces the shield off the door opens. He fucking puts the shield through, and it like smashes the guy straight out the other side.
Well, he flies and takes him out.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he smashes the shield, which bounces back, which
and
opens the door.
And then he goes in.
And it's like a quick, like, you hardly see him as flash. He just goes,
yeah,
like,
I didn't see it.
He just flies through the helicopter and takes him out.
And then the
drops
woman's
him in
like,
the river.
oh fuck, and like gets into the pilot seat. And it's a really cool though, she puts the thing on and she's just like, yeah.
Takes another guy, he takes one of the pilots out of the helicopters, which is just a general helicopter that's come to help.
Yeah, the NYPD.
And he lands on the bridge and the helicopter's crashing.
Yeah, he saves them both.
And this guy is like with him standing, and they can see the helicopter coming to crash, and he shields his wings around the shield on the top. Oh man, it's so
that was sick. We were lit for this whole episode. Basically, we were just sat there like, oh my god, that's so cool. Oh.
John and Carly are having like a ridiculous fight. John is not letting up, and Carly just wants to get away. And then it comes to an amazing scene where Carly gets back in the truck, and she basically is just on a suicide mission to kill the people in her truck, and tries to drive them off into this construction pit, essentially.
Yeah, it's quite high up. Bucky has already fallen down there
and fighting with the guy,
fighting with the Asian guy,
and it's such a perfect character moment, because props to Wyatt Russell, like, he's played it perfectly. Like, he's
such a good actor.
He knows exactly like what needs to be done when it comes to like how John Walker should be feeling. So this car is tipping off, Carly's jumped out and is running away, and this
she's kind of stood there just watching it, hoping it'll fall. He's like literally looking between them, and you see it in his eyes, you see it go through his face,
twitch, like the little, like it's kind of like you can hear the internal dialogue, and he's like, shut up, like, to himself. He's like, no, come on. And he does try and pull it, and
Bucky's like,
yes.
It's from here, like, Bucky is staring up and he's like, oh my god, like, I don't know what the fuck can he do?
Yeah, exactly.
And he's just looking at it, and you see it from his perspective, it starts to get pulled back, and I remember the moment where we're like, oh, come on, John, come on, John, and then you see it come back, it's just like, yes, like, that is what we want from this character. And like I said it to you during the thing, I was like, I never disliked John Walker.
No, exactly.
I felt bad for him, I felt sorry for him, I felt like he needed help when he went like completely loopy, but I never disliked him, and a lot of people like bought into the like, oh, he's the bad guy of the season, fuck him, like, he's never gonna be Cap. I felt really bad for him, and like the arrogance that I saw from him, for me, like, I just saw through that completely as a character, and it was just a front, him trying to do the job, and it's a hard fucking job that he shouldn't have been given in the first place.
Yeah.
You know what, I just really, really like this character arc for him.
He's, you know, he does want to do the right thing. He just gets very clouded in his judgments, and he gets very, he's too emotional, I think, to do what he wants to do. Yeah, absolutely.
The other Flag Smashers do start to attack John whilst he's bringing it back, though, and ultimately the moment of saviour and saving them does go to Sam, which is brilliant. Sorry, just quick flashback to when he saved those people on the bridge. Everyone was like clapping and cheering. I was just like, yeah, clap him on. I thought that was a really, really nice moment for him. But coming back to this, Sam, you see it start to fall and it catches, and we're like, is it caught on something? But it's Sam underneath, holding it up, trying as hard as he can, because obviously he's not a super soldier with super strength. He's trying to use the wings and the jetpack thrust. He gets all the little red wing bits to come on to try and help
Red and Wing, come and help him.
Red and Wing, yeah. And he gets it back up, and it's just a really, really good moment. It reminded me a bit of, I said this to you, but
yeah, it's a good comparison.
Reminded me a bit of the part in, is it Winter Soldier? Civil War. The part in Civil War where, who is in the helicopter?
Bucky is trying to, the Winter Soldier.
Oh, Winter Soldier is trying to get away in the helicopter, and Cap has his like bicep, and he's like, oh, like pulling it back in, and it just reminded me of that. Because it's so good, and it's just such a strength, solidarity, like rooting for someone moment, and it just really reminded me of the feelings that I had, and I was like really just like, yes, let's go.
It's one of those things where like they're struggling so much, and like they're like screaming, and you yourself are like tense. You're like, come on, do it. And when he was holding the helicopter, and when he's trying to push this car up, and he's using all his might, it's just
proper comic book moment, superhero moment. Really, really enjoyed it. They're saved.
They're saved. The Flag Smashers go underground, and they're trying to run away.
The whistle, you're hearing the Flag Smashers whistle. John is with Sam and Bucky. They go downstairs as well to try and, you know, flush them out, catch them. John and Bucky fuck off by themselves, and Sam's like, cool, I'll do my own thing then. And there's one really, really cool moment where the silhouette of him comes around the corner with the shield and it's just, it's really, really good, like really good lighting. It's just incredible. But you start hearing the Flag Smashers whistle, which is like, yeah, something like that. And
Carly's like, oh, is that you? You know?
I feel bad that I can't remember his name. The Asian guy is her like right hand man.
Wasn't like Moen or something like that.
She's like, is that you? No, it's Sharon. Plot twist, it's me. And Carly already knows that Sharon is the power broker, because I guess she's interacted with her in person.
She worked for them.
I know, but I thought maybe she would stay like anonymous or something, because, you know, now that she's out, Sharon's kind of like a big name. I would have thought Carly would know who she was. I don't know.
That's true. I feel like she could have easily used it as leverage, like her name, to blackmail her, but then obviously we see Sharon doesn't do blackmail. Sharon's like put the gun down, and then you get the very sort of sinister change in Sharon when Carly starts talking to her as if she's the power broker, and you get that change of face and body language when she's like, just come back and work for me, blah, 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 like all this and that. You betrayed me, and like basically reveals she's the power broker. Carly's like, no, I wanted something bigger than us, and this and that. They just have a bit of dialogue. Carly says the same line that she's had for the past 6 episodes.
Yeah, the exact same dialogue. But Shock turns up. He's like, oh, you're the power broker.
I want 4 times the money. You're the power broker. Well, I basically saying, well, if you want that to keep quiet, like, because
he's going to blackmail her.
I want 4 times the amount, and then I'll help you. So like there's like a little Mexican standoff with the 3 of them there. And
then Sharon's just like, I don't do blackmail, and like shoots him, but you hear 2 shots. I assumed that she had just shot him twice, but then Sam hears the shots and he's like, oh fuck, starts running to them. You pan back and Sharon's also shot, so Carly also shot Sharon. I was literally like this at the time. Oh, Batroic's just dead then.
Yeah, so Batroic's dead.
Bye! Just for plot reasons, he's here. Sam turns up, Carly's like, almost starts to say, I feel like she almost starts to say to him, like, don't get involved, because, like, I feel like she was going to tell him she's the power broker, or something like that. I feel like she could have very easily.
Yeah.
Because it's very obvious that Sam doesn't know. But Carly and Sam start fighting, although it's not really a fight because Carly is fighting on Sam, but Sam is not fighting back. He's saying to her, we can still talk, we can still, you know, figure this out. I don't want to fight you. Carly's getting more and more emotional, more and more like het up. She's crying, she's screaming, she's like, fight back. It's very, very hard to watch. It's very just like, but it's great to watch from Sam's side.
You feel pity for her almost, don't you? And there's an amazing part where she like punches the shield and Sam uses his wings and it smacks into the concrete.
Ground, yeah.
Sam loses the shield in the fight and it falls on the floor and Carly's got a gun pointed to him and Sam's like, look, please don't. You see in her face like she's tensing up, she's ready to shoot, but Sharon shoots and kills her instead, saving Sam.
Carly's last words are, I'm sorry. Which...
It's one of those things, like, all of the emotion and all of the, you know, adrenaline just floods out of her, and I think she kind of realises there, like, she has died for her cause, which says something that she would happily do. She said she would, but now she's like, I didn't mean for it to get this bad, and she kind of realises that now, obviously too late. I
think for me it was her apologising to him for, you know, she was about to kill him.
Yeah.
Because I don't think she's sorry for killing the other people, because she still is kind of like...
You don't think?
I think maybe a bit, but I think it's I thought it was mainly directed at him.
Fair.
Because they have the same ideals, it's just he is very, you know, Captain America about it, and she's more terrorist about it. Sam brings her out, this beautiful, beautiful shot where he comes flying in, but it's not even like flying like this. He's just upright.
It's
he's like an angel.
That's the symbol, like thing that I got from it. Carrying like a person, carrying Carly, wings outstretched, one leg slightly up than the other, in. Just very silently floats in and lands gracefully as well. And the wings... in the
midst of all the police cars, the choppers, the spotlight down. Press are everywhere.
Wings stay out for a little bit as well when he lands and then retract in.
So good. Such good symbolism, and honestly, when he came in, we were both just like, oh. Sam then makes a very, very good speech. He talks to the senators, the main senator and a couple of the other ones, the one from India, I think. And essentially, like, just reiterates Carly's... like what Carly wanted. He's like, do you not know, like, he's like, do you not think for 1 second why she was doing this? He was like, you have all the power in the world, you could feed millions with a text, you could destroy a forest with an email, you have so much power like an insane god, and a teenage girl has the same amount of power as you. Her cause got so many people around the world to rally to it that she defied some of the most powerful governments in the world.
Why do you think that is?
Yeah, why do you think that is? I just thought it was a really good line. And, just like, get them to reflect, get them to fucking think for 1 second. And him saying to them, like, the decisions that you make, are any of the people who are actually impacted by them in the room when you make these decisions? Because no, they're not. Or is it just more people like you? And just most of that speech, like, obviously there's a lot more, but every line was hard hitting, every line was like punch, 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 like punchline, just great.
And another thing, like, Anthony Mackie delivered it perfectly. I think he was really good at doing that sort of scene. And normally Cap is the speech giver, the
main
rallier,
character.
And he, you know, like in Endgame, he has that amazing speech. Just in all of the Avengers movies, basically, he has like a rallying speech to get all them together, and it shows that Anthony Mackie can definitely do it, and Cap can do it still. With those speeches.
Sam could pick up Mjolnir.
Do you think so? Yeah. It's also, he's saying a lot about Isaiah Bradley and everything that he was saying to Sam, and a lot of that struggle in this speech. He's
saying, I'm a black man wearing the stars and stripes. You think I haven't struggled? Because the senator's like, you don't understand. It's like, it's complicated. Ugh, it's just so whiny and shitty.
And because Sam says as well, he was like, you were in that car, you were feeling helpless. Do you not know now the struggle that people were feeling and how that felt? Like, can you not reflect on that and make a decision now based on how you felt, or are you still going to keep doing the same things? There's another nice character moment between Bucky and Sam after he goes to speech, and he's like, oh, I stopped listening, I was texting, sorry.
All I heard was black man wearing stars and stripes. I thought it was pretty funny. Whilst he's on this, though, the press are kind of filming Sam make this speech, and his sister is watching, Isaiah's watching with his grandson, a few other people I think as well, I can't remember who it panned to. But I really, really like that because that got broadcast to the world. It's just, yes, perfect. Like that's brilliant. Mwah. Chef's kiss.
Jon and Bucky arrested the rest of the Flag Smashers that were underground.
Yes, earlier on.
They're getting detained and they're getting driven away, and the police guard that detains them is like one world, and the Asian guy's like one people. So you're like, okay,
you're like, oh god, they're gonna survive. They're not going to the raft.
Sharon's probably gonna try and get them back. Drive away, and then it just spontaneously explodes, and it cuts to Zemo's good old butler.
Well, at first it was an old man, and we were like, who the fuck is that? And then it went to the raft, and I was like, oh, it was Zemo's butler, because he's a baron. And then you were like, oh, yeah.
It's Zemo's Alfred.
Yeah.
Essentially.
But you see Zemo listening to the radio. It's like, oh, the Flag Smasher, blah, 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 have all died because of this and this. And Zemo just does this little smile at the camera.
Zemo then goes to bed peacefully.
Yeah.
At the death of
he's literally like that with his book.
They're all dead.
Yes, good for me.
Zemo wins in the end.
He does. I just like that little ending for him, that little come around for him, the finale to his arc in the season as well. Just really, really clinches it, and all these little threads clinching and coming to a close. It's just really, really good. I really, really enjoyed it.
Sam visits Isaiah.
Yes, Sam visits Isaiah.
And there's again an amazing talk between them. Sam's like, okay, well, pack your stuff, clean up, I want to go and show you something. And he brings him, it's like the same old Captain America
museum
memorial part of the museum that we've seen in the Smithsonian. And he walks through, and there's this bronze statue of Isaiah in his Korean War uniform, and a plaque saying Isaiah Bradley, and then there's a story behind that.
And just the emotion in Isaiah's face, and as well in Sam's, like, it's just perfect. It's such good acting, such a good scene.
It's such a nice message as well to the series, because it could just be this fighty, new Captain America story, but they really do underline it with like a black struggle story and the racism and everything that happens. And it is such a nice just tip to do that. The scene where they hug and just like he's like shaking. And,
it's brilliant. It's just such a good bit of acting, a good bit of dialogue, good scene, good bit of directing. Literally everything about that bit is just great. The cookout scene is a little bit short for me because the screen goes black, music starts playing, screen's black for a little bit too long, it feels a bit weird. Then it comes in, they're cooking shrimp, they're all laughing, Bucky's got kids on his arm, he's
cool
holding
Uncle
kids.
Bucky.
Yeah, cool Uncle Bucky. It's a really, really nice scene. Yeah. All the women are like wanting photos with Sam. It's like really cute. It's cute to see him have that attention.
Yeah.
And it's just really, really nice. It's a really, really nice ending to the scene. And the very, very last bit of the scene, you have Bucky and Sam in the forefront, and they're just looking out into the ocean. Yeah, it's just great. Nice. It's just really, really great. And the evolution of their relationship throughout the series has just been really good. Like usually at the end the credit comes up and says the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This time it says Captain America and the Winter Soldier, and both of us are just like, oh yes, perfect. Like just fuck yes, he is Captain America now. Oh, and earlier Isaiah's grandson's like, what do you want, Black Falcon? And Isaiah's behind and goes, he's not called that anymore. He's still black though. It's a pretty good line, quite funny.
And it cuts to, we also get a scene in a courtroom with Contessa.
Oh yeah. And
she's like, oh John, come and see this, because she's looking at the news of the Flag Smashers exploding. Yeah. She's a great scene. She's like, oh, wouldn't it have been good if I had a hand in that? Maybe I did. No, but I didn't. But maybe I did.
She's so funny. I hope we see more of her.
She's great. Yeah, she's definitely going to show up more. But
she's just with the wife, and the wife's just sat there like.
With AOC is just like.
Yeah, AOC's just sat there like, okay.
But she calls. She's like, John, come on, come out. And
she's like, what is he doing in there?
He's wearing the same Captain America outfit that he got given. The blue is now black. Still got the red and white stripes, and the A's have gone, so the Captain America's gone. Yeah. So he's a lot more of like a stealth Black Ops thing that I said before that I thought he was going to be. And she name drops. She's like, it needs a US agent.
Yeah, she basically says like, shit's gonna go down in the next few whatever, like soon. We're not gonna need a Captain America. We're gonna need a US agent. It's very like cringe. Like Yeah. Oh god, there was a cringe line earlier in the episode as well.
I thought you were going to talk about.
Where someone was like, "Oh, it's Falcon," when he turns up to save people in GRC, and this guy goes, "Nah, that's Captain America," and I'm like, "Oh, so cringy."
No.
It literally made me physically cringe
It's
away.
like,
well, that was cringe. But there was one bit that you thought should have been said a line.
Oh, for fuck's sake, yeah, when he was fighting Carly, for God's sake.
No, Batroc.
No,
It was Carly.
Carly kept knocking him down, and she shouted at him, she was like, "Stay down." And I wanted him to say, "I could do this all day." Why didn't he say, "I could do this all day"?
He just went, "No."
Like,
no.
why didn't he say, I can do this all day? Like, oh,
that would have been like half cringe, but half like, okay.
A nice nod, like he knows, you know, oh, for fuck's sake. Anyway, there was a post-credit scene after the stylized credits where Agent Carter is getting her pardon. And they're all like, you know, the Carter name is...
We stand.
Carter name is, you know, very symbolic to the US.
It's integral. Like, she started S.H.I.E.L.D. with...
one of the founding members with Stark.
Stark, yeah.
With,
Ned Stark.
Ned Stark. With,
what's his fucking name? Tony Howard. We're such big Marvel fans, guys.
But she gets her pardon, and there's a really good scene when she's walking away, and she's like, "Oh, thanks so much. This means a lot." And
her acting is just paying. She's like teary. She's like, "I would be honoured to take my place back as an agent." Like, it's so funny to watch.
It reminded me, the scene when she's walking away reminded me of such like a chick flick drama where she's walking away and it's slow motion. She like flicks her hair and like looks like.
I loved that.
So the screen, you're like, hey.
I loved it. She's like rings someone up and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna have all this government secrets. Shit. So line up some buyers." And then she's like walking, and then the
camera
fucking
pans to like the flag. Oh, fuck, it's good.
And I was there like, yes, we love Sharon. I'm like so rooting for her. She's such a badass, and I'm like, we need some more badass female characters in the Marvel universe, because people always go like, "Well, yeah, but we had Scarlett Johansson," and it's like, yeah, but she didn't have much of a story. She just was badass in general. And then obviously you have Scarlet Witch now, but she's grieving. She's badass as fuck now, but before she wasn't a great character. She didn't have much development. But now they are finally giving development to their female characters, and I want more of it. Sorry if the angles changed slightly. My phone ran out of storage, so I had to delete some videos. But anyway, we're just about to wrap up. Overall, really, really good series. Really, really enjoyed it. At the beginning, I wouldn't have recommended this to anyone, but... like, you know, if you're not a Marvel fan, I guess, I wouldn't have recommended it, but now I would recommend it wholeheartedly. Wrap up of every single storyline, every single character arc was just absolutely perfect. Really, really enjoyed it. And just in general, like, a really good message as a series. And you can't really go into the new films without watching these, not into the new phase. Not having watched WandaVision, not having watched Falcon Winter Soldier, not having watched Loki, because... these things are probably going to be integral to the overall storyline. Well, so I would highly recommend that people watch them.
We've got a while till Loki now, June 11th. So I think we're going to maybe do some like tier rankings of the movies. Love, Death and Robots Volume 2 comes out on May 14th, which I am extremely excited for. Same. So I don't know if we're going to do something for that.
We will be doing something for that. We'll also be doing tier ranking for the first volume of Love, Death and Robots. We're going to rewatch that first, then watch the second volume, do some content on that. We're also watching Shadow and Bone, which is out on Netflix today, Friday 23rd. And we'll be watching... or 4 episodes, then doing a review of the first 4 episodes, and then another 4 episodes. I keep saying episodes again, I said this last time. 2 reviews of Shadow and Bone. Maybe some tier ranking of Black Mirror episodes. You know, we've got a few different things lined up to tide us over until Loki comes out in June. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. It's been great coming through these episodes with you guys. We love reading your comments and responding. It's really, really great. And thank you so much for all the engagement on all the videos. But we will see you very, very soon. Bye.